Out of the blue, he said he was on a ship and it sank and he died. We didn't really know what to think. We thought Seamus has an active imagination, he can be a storyteller. I wasn't sure if he was just watching too much TV.
The first time I heard from Seamus that he'd been a boy on a ship that sank and he lost his life that way, my first reaction was to be skeptical of that to some degree.
When I would tell different people about Seamus and his fascination, obsession with ships, a few people would say, well, maybe he was on the Titanic. And that got me thinking, well, maybe he was. I've always believed that it's possible for people to have past lives, and the thought of Seamus having a past life, it explains why other people say he's wise beyond his years. In his past life, Seamus said that he was 10 years old. He had a sister who was 14. He also had a green jacket suit on.
Seamus recalled the ship sinking as it rolls to its right side, the starboard side, and then sinks straight down into the water.
I'm Seamus and I'm 7 years old. I had a mom and a dad and a sister. The ship was red and black. The carpet was red and green. And then something hit it in the back. Like it had an explosion. And then it kind of sank and then tilted on its side. There were white boats made out of wood. Some people were on pieces of the ship, and some people were in the water, panicking and swimming.
His recollection is not dying in the shipwreck itself, but making it to a lifeboat, and he described white painted wooden lifeboats. Again, some pretty specific knowledge.
It was cold when we got on the lifeboats, and I wore 2 jackets. My green one, and then my dad gave me a black one. But I died on the lifeboat.
Hearing this from Seamus made me sick to my stomach. It's devastating to think that Seamus experienced a ship sinking and dying.
How can this little boy be telling me about these things as if it really happened? I can tell when Seamus is telling me a lie to keep from getting in trouble. But when he's serious about something, I can tell that too, and he believes what he's telling me. He's not making this up. Could my son Seamus really be experiencing a past life?
At first, I thought the Titanic was the ship I was on and died on. But then I thought because of the details and how it sank, it couldn't have been. That's when I knew I didn't die on the Titanic.
Seamus asked his dad what it meant to have an old soul, and then Seamus said he was afraid that how he died as an old soul in his past life is how he's gonna die in his current present life. It was almost like a hit to the gut, you know? That's pretty heavy for a 7-year-old to be worried about that. Aaron and I just told Seamus that you're not gonna die now how you died in a previous life, thinking that that would be okay, and he seemed to understand and get that until just the other day he started talking about it again. Obviously, our explanation wasn't sufficient. It's affecting us today. You know, Seamus is still not sleeping through the night. He's still coming into our bedroom, and now he's sleeping on a separate little couch that we have in our bedroom. And for him, it needs to be worked through because there's some anxiety and worry in his poor little heart and mind. It's so hard being the parents, and you're so connected to your kids. And you just want them to be happy and not worry about anything. I don't want them to relive that experience because it's so tragic. All those people dying, and we want to help Seamus. We're just not sure what to do. Today we're going to talk to Seamus about the different ships that have sunk. We have different options of different ships, and we're going to talk to him and see if we can't narrow down which ship he thinks that he was on.
Well, I'm hoping to help him find closure to what his previous existence was all about. And gosh, I'm excited about that, because I think that'll help him not have to worry about the kid he was then, and to let him know that now it's all about this life. Let's live this one. You know, you've been talking about boats and shipwrecks and those kind of things. Mom and I have looked up a bunch of different ships and boats and other stories, and I wanted to have you look at these and tell you these stories and see if any of these ring a bell to you. So this boat, this one is called the Callum, and it's from 1904. It was a ferry boat that sunk in a storm. Does that ring a bell at all? Does a ship this size or shape ring a bell at all?
Maybe a little bit bigger, that ship.
Bigger than this
bigger.
one.
Okay.
Okay, look at this one. This is called the Princess Sophia, and this was in 1918. This one's larger. This thing got stuck in a storm.
You got,
Maybe like one size bigger than that.
when you were on the ship, did you see any land around you, or was it just open sea?
Open sea.
Open sea.
So Seamus, this one is a much more modern ship. This is the MS Estonia, which sank in 1994. And what's similar about this one to the things you've described is, see how the boat is listing to the starboard side?
Does that look familiar to you at all?
That wasn't the ship, because the front has kind of that more shape.
And then this is the lifeboat,
The lifeboats were wooden and they were white.
wooden and white. Okay.
So that's a definite no-no there, too. The RMS Lusitania. This was torpedoed by a German U-boat, a submarine. Here it is going down. Here's a white wooden lifeboat.
That one, I think, could have been it. It has 4 smokestacks and it looks a familiar shape and has the color white lifeboats.
After showing him options, we ruled out some of the ships, narrowing it down to the possibility of which one he was on.
There was one that he was really intrigued with, the RMS Lusitania. That's the boat that was sunk by a torpedo strike in 1915. So that matches a lot of the descriptions he's talked about.
We still have to get him to let go of his fear of dying that way in this life.
I think Seamus is onto something. I think it's up to us now to help him find closure. Let's go out on a big fishing boat and have a little moment of silence and throw out a wreath in tribute. It's just a way to close that chapter a little bit. Does that sound like a good idea?
It's gonna be fun.
Aaron thought of a wreath and flowers because that's kind of a tradition with any funeral.
So we've come here today for a moment or two of quiet reflection,
Generally, there's always some kind of flowers.
honoring tribute to all those who've lost their lives at sea, including the previous life of young Seamus here. Anything you'd like to say?
He was more emotional than I thought he would be. I felt physically his emotion and his sense of loss as saying goodbye. I'm hoping for Seamus to feel safe because of the fact we had our ceremony and we came back as a family and everybody's safe. Oh, see the sea lions on the buoy?
Oh, jeez. Makes me feel better knowing that I won't die on a boat like I did in my past life.